welcome back to another episode of Built Different Podcast, the DBT edition. My name is Aaron,
My name is Dekevis Perry.
and we are just gonna really switch gears today. We were a little bit heavy-handed on the information last time. We're gonna have a more just real conversation, just speaking about like the things that are happening in our lives when it comes to the program and some things that are going to be happening in the future as well. But as we start off every episode, we are going to answer a couple of questions just so we can get the ball rolling. So, to keep us, what do we have?
Oh, this is most of the people's favorite part right here when we get to answer the questions. So I'm excited about this. Um, so to start off with, we got a couple questions like Aaron just stated. So the first one is, how competitive or stressful is the clinical placement process? Okay. Um, I'll answer this one first, and then I'll let Aaron do the next one. So with the clinical placement process, um, I'll say it is a little stressful once it starts to get closer to you needing your placement, just because you're not 100% sure that you're going to get all of the places that you put on your wish list. So then you might have to deviate and go to other places that you didn't intend to go to. So you might have asked for a place that's 10 miles from your house, and then that time comes, you may have to go somewhere that's more like 30. So that is a little stressful because you don't plan on, going that far, but that's part of PT. You always find another way, right? And you find a way to make it happen, right? The goal is to get to the finish line. So I would say that is the stressful part about it, but they are going to find you a place. So that's all that matters. How about you, Aaron? What would you say is the most competitive or stressful part of the clinical?
I think the stress comes from competing with other PT programs in the
Yes.
area. We are a hybrid program, so we don't have a physical presence in a lot of places that we're at. Like where I'm at in Virginia, we have a physical therapy program coming straight from VCU. And I'm sure in other parts of the country there's a similar setup. So their programs are really already into the medical system that is in the general area. So when we are doing the request in order to get into those spots, you have to take into consideration that we are not the only PT students trying to get into these placements. So it can be even more stressful because you're competing with other schools. Well, you're not really competing, but if there's no space, there's no space for the
Right.
places that you do want to go to. So you ultimately have to be very flexible in understanding that a wish list is just that, a wish list. And if you get the placements that you want, definitely be very grateful that you got it. But if you don't get the placements, then that's not going to take away from your overall experience in your program. You just have to uh, attack it with the open mind, so you can get as much information and experience from those places. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Definitely. Yeah. That's great feedback, Aaron. Just to kind of piggyback on that a little bit, um, most PTs probably don't want to take more than one student at a time. So, like Aaron was saying, when you have multiple schools in one area, so if you think about it, just a normal clinic probably has, about 3 to 5 PTs, right? So they're going to only be able to take 35 students. They're not going to take two students per therapist because that could be very stressful on them as well because they also have to treat and they're teaching at the same time, right? And they can't catch everything that you're doing if you're making mistakes or doing things really well. So you just got to be mindful of that, but that also while you're going through that process. So that's all I would say.
Yeah,
But that's great though.
definitely talk to your liaison once you get to that portion in your program. You know,
Yep.
I think they do a good job of like helping ease the stress that comes
Yeah,
just from the placements.
yeah. And our professors they tell us all the time, don't stress out about it because we're gonna find your place. Because it gets closer to it, you're like really anxious, like where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna go? But they'll figure it out eventually for you. Um, So just be patient. Okay.
Absolutely.
The
Next.
next question. The next question. We got, what do you love most and least about the physical therapy program?
um, I'll take this question. I'll go first.
Well, we could say it says the program or PT in general. So we'll just answer it for the PT in general. How about
Okay.
that? Like, how about
No,
that?
no slandering. No
There
slander.
we go. For PT in general, we'll say. There you go.
So, what do I like and what I don't like the most about the PT, just in general?
Just in general. Yep.
Well, what I like, and I will always say this, is the variability in the cases that will be presented to you. We are really deep into cardiorespiratory type of patients. So we're talking about those who are suffering from like pneumonia or bronchitis or atelectasis. So we are really getting into the special populations, and that's exciting. But I also say that is a double edged sword, and
Hmm.
that the variability is also something that I'm like, maybe anxious. Not necessarily that I don't like it, but I'm. It does bring me a little bit of anxiety, just
Hmm.
because you don't know who's going to walk into the door.
Right.
So you have to be able to just evaluate very efficiently, make sure that you're talking to the patient in order to understand the whole patient, not necessarily just what they are presenting on paper, and make sure that you have a good medical team that you can ultimately refer out if you have to refer out if it's not something um, that can be treated in physical therapy. What about you, Takivas?
Yeah. Man, I feel like you covered a lot right there, honestly. I definitely think same thing. Just the things I like the most about PT. I'll start with the positive. I love the fact that you get a variety, like Aaron was talking about. You never know who's going to walk through the door. It could be your first grade teacher, or it could be, a family member of yours. You just really never know. So, and you'll see a variety of different cases as well. This is kind of speaking more on the outpatient, but as well as you can work in multiple settings. You can work with babies that are 0 years old all the way up to somebody that's 110 years old. There's no restrictions on that or anything of that nature. And then I love the critical thinking about physical therapy, being able to think outside the box and get my patient to where they want to be, meet their goals in a creative manner. So that right there is really something that I enjoy. And I've always been like I like to be challenged. I feel like PT challenges me because um, nothing is black and white. Everything is pretty gray. You never just get you know, this person, you do this. This is it. It's always, you switch it up with everyone. So, and everyone is unique in their own way. So that's the benefits, I believe. As far as like things I like least about PT, hmm, this is a tough one because I really like PT. Hopefully, y'all know that.
I'm saying I don't.
uh,
It's hard. That's a hard question.
it's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't like that. I can't work in all the settings at once. How about
That's not
that?
a real answer.
That's all I got for right now. I can't knock it. I enjoy it. I really do. And then it might be a different look for when I become a PT, so there's no telling. Um, yeah, I just look forward to it. I can't say anything negative about it. All right, the next one.
Wait,
Uh,
I'm gonna give a disclaimer to the people listening out there. I am also like him.
yeah,
I don't have really anything that I dislike. Okay, don't be telling nobody that.
yeah. Don't tell nobody. I don't like nothing about this. I love this for real. All right, let's see the next one. The next question we got. is are there any specific areas of physical therapy you're particularly passionate about, whether sports, pediatrics, geriatrics, neurology, or anything of that nature?
When I first got into the PT program, I was very interested in neurology. I read this article about neuroplasticity and I went down that entire rabbit hole. And then we got into our neuro class and we started learning more and more about how do we utilize neuroplasticity in order to help out our patients. And for the listeners out there, neuroplasticity is just our brain's wonderful ability to form new neural networks. So if you have an injury towards a limb that you're not able to mentally connect with to make voluntary movements, physical therapy can help aid you bridging and working on creating a new connection in order to elicit those voluntary movement responses.
Yeah.
This is big, just in the health field because several years ago, we were not utilizing principles of neuroplasticity in order to help out our patients. So I still, as you could hear, have this passion for neuroplasticity specifically, but when you think of neuro type of patients, you talk about people who have strokes or people who have different type of paralysis, so or spinal cord injuries. The gambit is wide with those patient presentations, but other than the neuro aspect, I was a D1 track athlete. If there's a way that I can give back to my community, then I will do it in a heartbeat. So, all you track athletes out there, I got y'all. Especially the 400-meter hurdles, I got y'all.
Hey, y'all built different. Y'all built different. I was 100, 200, regular 400 guy. I wasn't no hurdles. So, hey, salute to y'all.
What about you, Takivas? What are you interested in? Let us know. What's up?
So mine, I would say two things I'm really well. Dang, that's tough because there's something that moved into like top three. I always had top two. My top two were sports and geriatrics, but now, like you talked about, we kind of got into neurology and things like that. I really like the stroke patients, the spinal cord injuries. I find those to be really fun because you have to figure out. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together, and you kind of figure out what they can do and what they can't, and you definitely push for the things that they can in order to compensate to their life and give them um, the most quality out of what they have. And just doing those small things, it kind of just allows them to see life in a different way, and they're able to live a eventful and a pleasant life, for the remainder for what they have to work with. So, whew, that was a tough one because man, it's so much information that I'm trying to ball up into one, but definitely neuro has definitely moved into top three for me. And yeah, pediatrics is far away for me. And I don't like kids. I love kids. It's just I just don't want to work with them. I do love kids though. So all right.
I pediatrics is slowly like creeping up further and
Yeah.
further on my list. Um, Geriatrics is slowly going down, so I feel like they're gonna equal. I feel like they're gonna equal.
Hey man, you gotta show my people some love, man. They the ones who got you here.
You're right. I apologize. But I feel like they have to even out. Like you have geriatrics and you have pediatrics. They have
Yeah,
to.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
Please.
That's true. They both could teach you life lessons. How
Both.
about that? Yeah.
Absolutely. But
That's funny. All right, we got one. We'll do one more question here. The last question we'll do is, what are you looking forward to most after school?
Just what am I looking for the most? I feel like the easy cop out answer is the pay. Finally getting paid for
Yeah. I mean, we gotta live, right? So,
but I think what I'm looking for the most out of school is actually going back to either school campuses or conferences and being really able to represent the career field
hmm
and just become some type of speaker that can have a platform, just maybe just talking about the newest and greatest in the field, or just being able to expose physical therapy to marginalized communities. So that when I was in the military, I also became an MC. So I led like these huge events where I'm talking in the podium and stands. So I
yeah,
would love to use that like energy and that skill set in order
yeah.
to elevate the platform.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward, yeah, getting into academia. I'm excited for that.
You want to teach?
I do. I really
Okay.
do.
Yeah, I could definitely see you doing that. You do a great job with explaining things, so you'll thrive for sure. Yeah. I had a what'd you say?
I said, you're too kind. Thank you.
Nah, all truth, all truth. I had another question though. People and I may not know what an MC is. What exactly is that inside the military?
Look, I make my own beats. I'm on the DJ.
Yeah, I was like, hold on.
No, an MC is just the person who is leading, like talking, leading the ceremony. They're at the podium, making sure that they're using their voice in order to carry the event. So
hmm
they're they're the people who are making sure the event is going nice and easy and in charge of giving people direction or just information. Like, for instance, like you have a Black History like type of event where they are trying to present information to a crowd. You'll have an
hmm
MC out up there at the podium, and they'll be the ones who are talking,
Okay.
presenting the information. So
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, thank you for explaining that. I literally had no idea. I was just like, is this like the leader or what? So
and I'm on the ones and twos. Don't get it twisted.
I didn't know they got down in the military like that. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I got some joke. I'm thinking of some jokes. So I'm like, let me let it go. Let it go. Okay. Let's see. What am I looking forward to most after school? I'll start off with expanding my skill set. I look forward to being like dry needling certified, being able to have like a manual certification, possible hand specialist, being able to expand like my neuro certifications as well, things of that nature, just so I can work with more people and be more specialized to the people I want to tailor to, as well as being able to kind of like Aaron, go back to my community, give back, talk to other former athletes that never thought about expanding into PT, at current athletes that are looking for a direction to go. Think, and then also just possible doing some travel PT. I've always wanted to do that, so I'm open for that for sure. I was actually, this is off topic, but I was talking to one of my coworkers, and she was like, she did travel PT for a couple years, and she was like, she went to Hawaii and New Orleans and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, everywhere I've never been and I want to go. So I definitely am open to it. She's like, the contracts and stuff like that are pretty cool. You can kind of tailor it to however many weeks you want to go, and just more advocation for PT just because the flexibility, like we talked about before, just really flexible. You can go there for 8 weeks or 13 or whatever you like to do. So that's what I would say. What I look forward to most after, and just having my freedom back more than anything. Like not having to do all this studying and stuff like that. So not that I don't enjoy studying, it's just I just want some of my time back, right?
See,
But the benefits at the end are going to be well worth it. I believe that for sure.
like the certifications, dry needling, being able to like that is my number one certification that I'm trying to
Yeah.
get as soon as I get out. I want to do dry needling so badly, in a sense because there's so much literature that does promote the use of dry needling
Hmm.
as one of the tools just for us physical therapists to have.
Yeah.
Expanding like your skill set, I think that's amazing. I'm trying to get like this guy over here. He's talking about travel PT. You got to be out of the country. You know what they call physical therapists outside the country? They're physios. I love that.
Physiotherapy.
Shout out to the physios. I love
Fact, facts. Yeah. That's good. I like that.
it.
That's true though, you know. They call it physiotherapy. They get like a fancy name.
Yeah, I mean, we could call ourselves physiotherapists, but
Yeah, you can.
I like that. There's when you say like getting our time back. Do you think that it's going to be difficult, like adapting after we're out of school, or and once we pass boards? But do you think it's going to be like a smooth transition into the type of lifestyle that you want?
Um, I think that it'll be like slow transition. Like probably the first, I don't know, like 3 to 6 months after I pass my boards, I'll probably still kind of be like, wow, I really kind of feel like I need to be studying or something. Um, but then I'll slowly kind of transition into my daily life and routine, uh, especially, excuse me, being able to hang out with family more and go with my friends. All this stuff that I'm skipping now, I'll be able to say yes to. So, those things, I unapologetically say that I'm excited to do. So,
Man, you got to be out of the country. It sounds like you taking
there's a
vacations.
chance. I mean, who wouldn't like to treat somebody in the UK? You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Like,
that is crazy. And you be the one to do it. So if you get there, send me some information.
I, I'm sending you. Bring the wife. You and the wife. Come on.
Come on.
That's right. That's
spend
right.
us, we can spend the summer out there. Get a contract, spend the summer.
That's right. That's travel. Remember, I told you that contracts are like a little more when you do travel versus having a stationary inside the state. So,
Mhm.
yeah, you might not need to work the summer or work the summer and take off some time during the year.
That is true. We listeners, we are about to actually go into our lab immersion coming up. This is another opportunity in our program where we get hands-on experience
Hmm.
based on the content that we are learning currently. So, what are you looking forward to lab for this quarter?
This lab, I'll say I'm really looking forward to all the cardio pulm stuff, just so I can put the test to the test, kind of thing. We learn so much about all these tests and the numbers and things of that nature. So I'm looking forward to trying to put that to a person, and that's really what lab is about. We learn all this information over, several months, and then we come to lab and put everything together, like Aaron was talking about, bridging that gap. So that's really what I'm looking to most. Is just being able to do the test on the actual person and then just getting more detailed experience with our professors and things like that. So,
The Kiwis don't put me in no VO2 max test.
hey man, I'm going home. I'm going home, bro. I'm
we,
out.
we can just read about that. I don't. We don't have
I know, I know. We don't got
to.
to do that one.
I am interested in. I am interested in cardio. Cardio has been my difficult subject this quarter just because I don't have any background experience when it comes to any type of cardiopulmonary type of patients or just literature. So it was a lot of new exposure, especially to like the medications and things of that nature. So
Yeah.
trying to find and navigate my way through cardio has been um, a time. And for the listeners out there, I tell you this just as a current student, we all have maybe that one class in that quarter that we just have to pay extra attention to, but you will get the information. Make sure that you reach out to your faculty members and make sure you have a good set of classmates that can also hold you accountable as well and kind of be there as a sounding board. But I say all that and turn around and be like, I'm excited for neuro, of course.
Yeah.
Don't y'all worry about
Uh,
neuro.
right.
We learned so much about like stroke type patients and paresis, and just to see the type of instruments and things that we can do to help this population.
Yeah.
I'm very excited just to get that hands-on ability.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm glad you spoke about that, the instruments and stuff, because it makes me think about patho and gait. I really look forward to working with the different wheelchairs, the adaptive equipment that you can put on wheelchairs and help patients who have the strokes that you were just speaking of and the spinal cord injuries and all that cool stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's like you get as a PT, you get to play with toys, kind of. It's really fun because you know what they're where they're less efficient at, and then you can kind of use these adaptive equipment and things of that nature to help them still be able to live like a normal life. So, man, I do look forward to that for sure. Like,
Have you been looking at people's gates?
oh man, that's every day. That's every day. It's funny you say that. I've been playing a little pickleball lately, and I've been watching people's gates. I've been seeing some braces, some knee braces and things of that nature. So I just like, what kind of brace do they have? And I can't even focus on pickleball because I'm just paying attention to everybody. So it's fun stuff. It really is. It makes you just more aware of life, honestly. So for sure, that's a good one. That Path to Gate class has got me excited to see what our professors will bring for us.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we get some hands-on exposure to some prosthesis. Like,
Hmm.
I really want to see prosthetics, at least put my hand on them so I
Hmm.
can just understand the mechanics of it all.
Right.
My father he's actually a double paraplegic.
Really?
So, yeah, so both of his legs, he has to have prosthetics. And we learned in our patho class how important patient education is and how much that we can actually help patients understand how to mobilize using their prosthetics and how we can look at certain things to help even adjust and
Hmm.
work with those who are actually in charge of those prosthetics.
Yes.
We can only do so much, you but we still have the ability to actually assist with that. So that's really nice that that can translate back into just my own life. And when I see my dad, I'm looking at him like this.
Man, you got like the perfect patient. I'm very sorry that he doesn't have him, but you have like the perfect patient, man. I'm sure that's it's interesting to see how he maneuvers. How, if you don't mind me asking, how long has he been a double paraplegic?
This would be almost, I would say, like 7 months now.
7 months. So he's
Yes,
fairly new.
fairly new, but one time he was saying that he was traveling a pretty significant amount of distance, and I was a little nervous with him driving, but
Yeah,
he made it there and back, and I just thought that was one of the coolest things
yeah,
that still participate in life in that way based on your status
right,
as an amputee, a double amputee. So with the emphasis of our class and what we're learning too, it's very interesting to realize how much that we can actually contribute to that type of population. And it's a very special population. You know, shout out to one of our classmates as well. Like,
right.
she knows who she is.
With the belly. But yeah. But seriously though, that's really good. Thank you for sharing that too, man, because now that you know that, you know, what we've learned this quarter, you can definitely treat your dad like, you know, you're not board certified or anything, but you definitely can give them some cues and pointers, right? Like about like how to transfer, how to do bed mobility, and all those things. I think something else that a lot of people don't think about is like managing like contractures. Like if somebody gets, they're used to being in one position. Say if you sit all day, you can have like your hips being really tight. Um, and I think that's something that PT is a specialize we specialize in. So being able just to have more information about what someone who is an amputee is really good for us, just because it can change somebody's life legitimately. I know I keep saying that, but it can really change somebody's life of them being able to get around. Like you said, your dad was he's driving and all kinds of things. He's living a normal life. I'm sure at some point he had PT, so they had to teach him how to do those things. And man, that's just a beautiful thing, man. Truly.
Yeah, I'm very happy, you know, about his ability. And again, one of the most beautiful things about this profession is that we can truly help people transition from one type of way that they were living life to a different way.
Yeah.
Um, and more than likely, something that is more that can have them feeling more included in their environment, more independent,
Hmm.
and just overall in a better state. So
Yeah.
normally, you know, I'm excited. We chose a good career. I feel like
Oh, I know I did. I know I did.
school is crazy, but
We did. I know we did.
yes, sir.
There you go. That's right. That is right. I think it's no better time than to end on a high note like that right there. That is we ended on dad, man. On dad. So I appreciate you sharing that story, seriously, because that right there is huge. I definitely want to follow up with you when you see him again, just to see how well he's doing, you know. Gotta check on dad, man. So
I appreciate it. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, we want him to play with his grandkids still. So there we go. And so that's another topic. Like just because you do have amputations, you still can walk and run and things of this nature. So we'll get into that in upcoming episodes. Thank you guys again for always chiming in with us, being able to ask us the questions you do. It not only helps us think about it ourselves if we haven't already, it also allows people to get an understanding of what other people might have questions about and clarify some things that they might have questions on. So you guys can continue to send those questions and continue to give us feedback. We would greatly appreciate it. As always, like, share, subscribe, follow, and we'll continue to do our best to give you the information we have. Okay. Aaron, you have anything?
No, thank you so much. You said it beautifully.
All right.